what is permutation, what is combination. Okay, so first we will go to permutation. Permutation is the selection of R object from a group of n objects taking order of selection. Okay, order of selection, how you are taking, that is very important in permutation. Okay, so what is n factorial? N factorial denotes the number of different ways in which n objects may be arranged. Okay, so we'll see some example, then it will be clear. So in effective, if there are three different ways of treating cancer patients, okay, so let's we consider chemotherapy, radiotherapy and surgery. Okay, and then we are asking how many different ways can patient treated with two different treatment. If order of treatment is important, if they are asking something like that, so order they are given and then they are asking about the order, and then out of three, what are the two possible ways patient can be treated. So we will say, so by putting in the formula P is equal to n, how many? 3, and then how many ways? 2. So n is 3, so 3 factorial divided by n minus 3. Okay, so it is expressed as 3 into 2 into 1. So 3 minus 2, 1. Okay, there are 6 ways of the patient can get 2 methods of treatment from the 3 ways of management. Okay, what are the methods? What are the 6 ways? Either it can be chemotherapy plus radiation or chemotherapy plus surgery. Otherwise, radiation plus chemotherapy or radiation plus surgery, or surgery plus chemotherapy or surgery plus radiotherapy. So now you can see very well that order of selection is very important. That's why we have 6 ways. Okay, but in combination, counting of selection that we can make from n objects, that is to know the number of arrangements of group of objects without considering any order. There will be no order at all. So just we have to know how many selections we can do. So that is the thing. We can use the formula for combinations, that is c n by r, n factorial divided by r factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. So for this, let me see an example. So in how many ways can a polio duty resident of 2 can be chosen out of 5 GOPD residents? So for polio we need 2 residents from GOPD residents of 5. Okay, so they are not asking about the order, so they are just asking what are the how many ways the 5 GOPD residents can be picked up for polio duty. If you are asking like this, then if you are incorporating into the formula, that is combination of 5 into 2, then 5 factorial, that n is 5. Okay, and then r, how many we are taking? 2, then n is 5 minus 2 divided by factorial. So 5, how we can written? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, and then 2 into 1. 5 minus 2 is 3, so 3 into 2 into 1. So 3 into 2, 3 into 2, cancel, you can get. So 10 number of ways the GOPD 5 residents can be picked up for polio duty of 2 residents. Okay, so the main thing we have to keep in mind in the rules of probability is order of selection in permutation and no order can be considered in combinations. Okay, then this is very important, additional rule of probability and multiplication rule of probability. So these are the two indispensable rules for determining the probability. So the addition rule is concerned with only two possible or more than two possible events also. And then if the two events are mutually exclusive, then we can use the addition rule. But in multiplication rule, there are two conditions, which is independent and also mutually exclusive. Before going into the formula, let I will give some example. Okay, let you consume. There are three pens and then two markers. Okay, so the first question is, how many times pick any only one item? So these are pen, these are markers. Okay, so how many ways we can pick only one item from the above mentioned pen and markers? So the possible ways are P1 or P2 or P3, either or M1 or M2. So from pen there are three ways to pick only one item, and then from markers two ways, okay, to pick only one item. So it gives additional. So that is 3 plus 5, it gives 5 ways. Understood? So this is the additional rule of probability. That is P A or B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of both. But that's what I have asked. Pick only any one item. So there are 5 ways to pick from the pen and marker. At the same time, we will see if how many ways we can pick one pen and one marker at same time. Okay. So now what are the how many ways? So this pen, let me consider P1, P2 and P3. So this one pen and then one marker, one pen and then second marker. Similarly for pen 2, and pen 3. Okay. So we can pick one pen and one marker like this. Okay. So there are 6 ways. How we say 6 ways? Because there are 3 ways of taking pen and then 2 ways. Okay, so we are, and if it is there, then we have to cross. So that is the word, and we have to cross it, and then if it is R, we have to add. Okay, so these 2 points we have to keep in mind. So this is the rule of probability. Hello, hello, audible, no? Okay, fine. So next move to probability distribution. So probability distribution was given by James Bernoulli. He was the one introduced this distribution, that is called probability distribution. So he divided into two, that is discrete theoretical and then continuous. Okay, in discrete we will see binomial, Poisson, rectangular, multinomial, geometric. These are the distributions under discrete. And then what else will be under continuous? That will be normal distribution, students t distribution, and then chi-square distribution. Okay. So before that, going into different types, first we will see what is probability distribution. So the theoretical frequency distribution is not based on actual experiment or observation. It is based on frequencies obtained by mathematical computer based on certain hypotheses. So whatever we have seen, the probability, the chances, so those things we have computed based on some hypothesis. So that's why we are making some distribution, that is called random variables. So the distribution is the list of probabilities associated with the values of random variable obtained in an experiment. So that is called as probability distribution. So it is always described numerically. either it is by fraction or decimals or any number. Okay. So for example of probability distribution, roll of dice, events, what is the probability distribution for in die? You can see there will be one or two or three or four like this. So for if we are considering like this, so the probability of each thing will be only one time only. Okay. In distribution, what else we have seen, that is the list of probabilities associated with the values of random variable. So we have to compile everything. So if we are adding everything, then it will comes around 1. So that is the thing we have mentioned, 1. So similarly, if we are tossing two coins, and then if you see the outcomes, what will be, sometimes it will be head on both coins, sometimes it will be tail on both coins, sometimes it will be head, sometimes it will be tail here, sometimes it will be tail here, sometimes it will be head here. So there are four. So so if you are adding everything, then it will comes is equal to 1. Okay. So that what it was written as examples. Now we will go into the different. We are looking only the binomial, Poisson, and then normal. Others, that is not important to us. So only will concern about the binomial distribution, what is Poisson distribution and what is normal distribution. Okay. The term binomial distribution, this binomial, there will be dichotomous. Either it will be only two possible outcomes will be there, either live or dead, or ill or health. Okay, so in that case we have to use the binomial distribution, and then outcome of each trial is independent of outcomes of any other trial. So that is, if it is live, it won't affect the other part, that is dead. So that is independent always. And then the probability of success, p, is constant from trial to, even how many times if you do the same methods, the success of appearing the event to occur is always constant in binomial distribution. So the properties are, the random values assume the value till n, and then the formulas which are used in binomial distributions are mean is equal to n into p and variance n into p into q, and then standard deviation anyway, that is the square root of variance. So if p and q are fixed values, then n is large. The binomialization always to be like a normal distribution. So in nominal distribution, what we have to know, so the thing is there are only two possible outcomes, and then it is independent to each other, and then the constant of the probability of success is always constant. So what is the difference between binomial and Poisson? Poisson is nothing but the random variables assumed to be infinite set of values. So we don't know. Uh, it tools to predict the probability of certain event from happening, when how often the event has occurred. So that is number of events happening in a fixed interval of time. So in point of 1 minute, how many cars have passed in this road? So if you are asking such questions, that will be the Poisson distribution. Okay. And then if we are in coming to lab, and then we are seeing microscope, how many organs are visible? So that will be, if you are putting in this, then it will comes under Poisson distribution. So this is the limited form of binomial distributions. Okay. So so both binomial and Poisson distribution, as already I said, these are discrete distributions which concerned only about the whole number. So like number of persons, number of death, number of birth. So this is the meaning of discrete. Okay. So if it is continuous in nature, like 0.5 gram, 0.3 gram, like that, if the units have such values, then you have to go for normal distribution. So this is very important for us to know the basics of normal distributions. So the example, height, weight, bp, incubation period, serum cholesterol levels, and pulse rate. Okay. So now we'll move to normal distribution, that is most important continuous probability distribution, also known as Gaussian distribution. So Carl Friedrich Gauss and D. Mori. So these are the some names they are given, and they have done some works to know what is normal distribution. Okay, so let me try to draw normal distribution here. So as earliestly we have seen the frequency distribution, so there will be median is equal to mean is equal to mode. Okay, and then that is smoothie bell shape curve. This is bell shape curve, and then it is smooth. Why it is smooth? It is small equal class intervals. If you split into different groups, it will be equal. So that way it is called as smooth. And then symmetrical. It is symmetrical on both sides. Okay. What is the word? Asymptotic. Asymptotic means it never touches. Okay. The end. What we are seeing here, it will touch at infinity only. We can't precisely say that at this point it will touches the base. So that is the word asymptotic. So here if you see, this is mean, and then we are seeing some deviation. Okay, so here you can see -1, +1, then +2, -2, then -3, +3. Okay, so the 68% of individuals are observations which fall around the mean in the range of one standard deviation. Okay, and then 95.45% will fall around two standard deviation, and then 99.7% of variations will fall under three standard deviations. So this is the basics we have to know. Apart from this, we have to know some values. So that is for 99% where it will fail, if it is failed in 2.58. So the values what I am writing here, which will be more important during your mathematical calculation in problem solving. So better you can write somewhere else. For 95% of observation, it will falls around 1.96 standard deviation, which is the most common formula which we are using. Okay, for 90%, it will fall around 1.64 standard deviation. So then what will be for 50%? It will be for 0.68 standard deviation. So these are the things which I have already proposed, and then we have to, at least even if we are understanding this whole part, at least we have to bypass these four which are used commonly in our problem solving. Okay. So what is the importance of normal distribution? Making estimate of number of individuals in any range of measurements. Okay. So any range of measurements, we have to see the estimate of number of individuals, and then whether it decides common or uncommon measurement. So for that we are where it will be used, and then the importance is whatever we have learned for previous 30 minutes. So the data obtained from biological measurements, binomial Poisson distribution or large samples or any standard or mean deviation, which everything will follows normal distribution. So we have to know the basics of normal distribution, and then what are the other importance? It will forms the test of significance, whether it is alpha error, what is type 1 or type 2, and then you have to know the confidence limits of population parameters. So these are the importance of normal distribution. And then little bit I will give some brief about what is sampling variation. So this is the last we came to the end of our topic. So what is sample variation? If we are considering there is some population here, okay, so 100 people are there, and then we need 10, that is the sample. Okay, so the first time if we are taking 10 sample from the 100 population, the proportion of sample and the proportion of population is different, right? Okay, similarly, if the same, the sample what we taken the first time, that is 10, we are getting back behind, and then again we are taking 10. If it is okay, randomly we are selecting samples. So from again also this sample, which the proportion of sample what we took on second time will differ from proportion of population again also, and then proportion of sample which was taken first. So this, the difference between these two, the study is called as population variation, the phenomenon of variation in the sample statistics from a population parameter. That is the meaning of this sentence, that is sampling variation. And then what is confidence limit? The limit, how much is the sample statistics will be vary from population parameter, that is the word confidence limit. And then error, what is standard error? The sampling variation is quantified. Okay, how much we are quantifying, how much it is, that is called standard error. So finally I will give some clue for quantifying error. If it is qualitative measure, we have to go for standard error of proportion. If it is quantitative measure, then we will go for mean, standard error of mean. Okay, so this is the small thing which I have said before starting of inferential statistics. So these are the three words you have to know the difference. What is sampling variations, and what is confidence limit, and what are standard errors, and how will you quantify. Okay, so till now we have completed the probability, and then probability rule, and then distributions, and then normal distribution, their characteristics. Okay, so shall we start with some few questions? Okay, so try to answer. Can anyone read the first question? Hello, hello.
Percentage
Yeah, the
is
percentile is
calculated by
calculated by
Can
90th
anyone?
percentile, 10th percentile, 80th percentile, 20th percentile, 99 to
So
first,
what is the
or
option? Which
100th
is
to
correct?
50th. Which,
Ah,
which one is correct?
so percentile, what I said, it divides into
Percentile range.
percentile range, 100 equal parts. Okay, so we have to calculate the range. So how we are divide? How we are done for quartile deviation? Q3 minus Q1. Okay, similarly, if you are dividing like this percentile, it will be 100 parts will be there. So then last part, that is 90th, and then here 10. So the answer will be A. Okay, 90th percentile minus 10th percentile. Okay, understood. Next question. A dice is thrown twice in succession. Okay, what will be the probability of appearing 3 and 4? In rules of probability, I have said if it is and, what we have to do?
multiply.
Multiply. Very good. So always I have said probability of 3 in one die, it will be 1 by 6, and then probability of 4, it will be 1 by 6. Okay, so it will be 1 by 36. So these are the questions which will be used for your competitive exams, so be clear with the basics. Okay, third question. In standard normal curve, mean is presumed to be
Zero.
0.
0. Any other option? Yes, it is 0. So in normal distribution curve, mean is always 0. Area under curve is 1. Standard deviation is 1. And there is one word is called kurtosis. That is 3. Okay, I will tell you what is 3 in kurtosis. Next question. The relative flatness or peakedness of frequency curve is called as skewness, probability, kurtosis, or mode. What is the answer?
Kurtosis. Kurtosis.
Okay. So kurtosis is the answer. That is the peakedness. So there are three types of kurtosis are there. Okay. One is platy, other is meso, and the last one is lepto. For meso, the kurtosis level is 3. For lepto, it is more than 3. For platy, it is less than 3. These are theoretical things. You have to know it. Okay. So this is equal to 3. That's what I said. It is under normal standard curve. That is kurtosis is 3. Okay. So probability ranges from -1 to +1, 0 to 1, 0 to 10, 0 to 1. Yeah,
1.
correct. Okay. So probability is always, I have said, it will be numerical. Okay. Or fraction. So whatever you are writing as 1 by 4 or 1 by 10 or 2 by 5, it always comes under the value 0 to 1. Okay. Yes. And then these are my sources of our today's lecture. Kulkarni, Negi, IAPSM, and latest edition of Marrow. So biostat it always recollecting what we have read and then what we are going to learn further. So it always continues. Okay. Thank you. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, I am listening.
Ah, yes, sir.
Yeah. This presentation is what you are what are we studying today? Number of central distribution. We are studying the percentile. Yes. What else have we studied?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Ah, hello, sir.
Yes. What are things we have studied today?
Probability, their distributions, and then normal distribution basics. Sir.
Yes. But while distribution, have we not studied percentile, quantile?
Uh, sir.
Hello. What was the quantile? Quantile. Centile, quantile, percentile,
Quantile,
quantile.
quantile divides into 5 equal parts, sir.
That is quintile. What is quantile?
Okay.
What is quantile?
Sir, I can't hear you properly, sir. Hello.
Audible?
Hello, sir. Voice break is there, sir.
Is audible now?
Okay.
What is
Hello, sir.
Quantile
Quantile is
Sir,
divided
quantile
into
5 equal parts. It's called quantile, sir.
that is quintile. That is quintile.
Okay.
That is quintile. Q-U-I
Yes, sir.
T-I-L-E. That is quantile. Q-U-A-N-T-I-L-E. That is quantile.
Okay.
all
These are
quartile,
quantile. Yes.
quintile,
All
percentile,
yes.
everything is
Very
quant.
good. It is quantile. Correct. Very good. So everything. So you calculate quantile by a formula of Q is equal to 1 into K plus 1 divided by K, etc. So this quantile is important. So any quantile. So 25th percentile, the quantile. 50th percentile, the quantile. So all these are quantiles. So these quantiles are divided into quartiles uh, and quintiles and quartiles, yes, centiles. When we call centiles,
100, sir.
centiles. Yes, centiles are 100. Four centiles are yes.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Now audible? Yes, centiles are 100. And then quartiles are four
Two.
parts. Quartiles are three parts. And quintiles are five parts. And why everything, every other thing like quartiles are already been explained by even on, but what I want to stress upon is the quintiles. Okay, quintiles is five equal parts of data.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so five equal parts. So whenever so the normal distribution curve will not tell you how to divide the data into its different parts. But rather, it will tell us that how you can divide the data into five equal parts. And why I'm stressing on quintiles is majorly, in NSSO round, so now from, if I tell you correctly, from 68th round of NSSO, everybody knows what is NSSO?
Sir.
Hello. Everybody does. Everybody is aware of NSSO. NSSO rounds. Are we aware about NSSO rounds? Am I audible? Hello. Yes. So NSSO rounds. So all the data in NSSO rounds, sample National Sample Survey Organization or NSS National Sample Survey, are organized or are presented as quintiles. Okay, and that is why the quintile is important to us to understand the quintiles. And why do they use quintiles? Because it is easier for whenever we talk about socio-economic data, isn't it? If you see, even the socio-economic classification of Kupuswamy is into five different types, isn't it? Grading are five different types. So this the basis, all the basis of the Kupuswamy socio-economic scale is also quintiles. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so
Yes,
quintile
sir.
is very important when you want to when you will read NSSOs. All the National Sample Survey Organization, every time there is a round. Now, you know that now currently the 78th round of NSSO, they have extended the 78th round till 2022, but now all the data in NSSO will be represented in terms of quintiles. Okay, so five equal parts. So you have to understand the quintiles when if you want to understand the reports of NSSO. Okay, so
Okay.
I've shared a PDF file of how quintiles are better, or how these are different from the quartiles and tertiles. So I request everybody to go through it and understand the quintiles and quartiles and tertiles and their applications. When they use quartiles, when they use quintiles, yes, so whenever the continuous data is there, you will better use quartiles. Whenever the continuous data is there, but you want to divide them into equal five parts, you use the quintile. So it's better to understand that. One more thing which is important as an application is as Probability will always
Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah, so probability will always be 0 to 1, isn't it? So
Yes, sir.
what are the odds ratio? Odds ratio is also probability, isn't it?
Yes.
One type of the probability, but odds are maybe the probability can go twice or thrice or fourth. But whenever the odds ratio crosses 0, oh sorry, it crosses 1, we take it as it is not significant, isn't it? So that's again a probability when what is the probability of one? There is equal chance of occurrence, isn't it?
Occurs.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the application of probability in terms of logistic regression or odds ratio or case control studies. When you have one as a probability, there is equal chance of both the events to occur, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And whenever that confidence interval of logistic regression crosses one, and that is the reason that whenever the confidence interval crosses the one, we assume it as not significant. The relationship is not significant. So while we are studying the statistics, always better that correlate and link it with something else. Okay,
Yes, sir.
link it with some studies, link it with some surveys, link it with some data which you have seen, maybe some national data, some international data. It's always better to relate that. Like we should take out examples wherein the probabilities are used in some famous survey or some famous data. We should use like that, isn't it? Okay, instead of just giving simple examples, it's better that we give examples which are used by multiple people. Okay, so
Okay,
good
sir.
presentation, One. I really
Yes.
congratulate you on this excellent presentation. You have made it look easy. 90, almost 95 times or 95th percentile of thinking of mine as it is as if I was, doing a chalk and paper kind of a presentation. So good job, Goran. Thank you so much. I will quit now. Anybody has any questions? Okay, fine. Anyways,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, bro. Thank you.